I have been dealing with the results of regeneration. We saw over the last several days, last week, that in regeneration, the believer becomes a new creature in Christ. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things become new, and all things are of God. And I think what you and I learned from that and discerned from that on the broadcast last week is the fact that the born-again believer is now dealt with on a different standing and a different plateau than he was on prior to being born again. Before I was saved, I was a child of wrath. I was under the matter of condemnation. John 3, he that believeth is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed on the name of the only begotten Son of God. All of that changes in the new birth. In the new birth experience, the born-again believer is now dealt with as a son of God and an heir of God and a joint heir with Jesus Christ. Now, that thought leads me into my next result. What are the results of regeneration? Sonship with God. You remember the text I pointed out a moment ago, Galatians 3 and verse 26. For ye are all the children of God by faith in Christ Jesus. For as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And if ye be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Now, someone might read the text in verse 26, for ye are all the children of God, and they would say, see, there is the universal fatherhood of God and the universal brotherhood of man. Nothing could be farther from the truth than such an idea as that. Nowhere does the Bible teach the universal fatherhood of God and the universal brotherhood of man. Notice that the text is qualified. For ye are all the children of God. How is the question? By faith in Christ Jesus. We are the children of God by faith in Christ Jesus. Now you and I should learn very quickly that men are born again and justified exactly the same way. Every man that is saved by faith. Every woman that is saved by faith. And there is no one saved that is not saved by faith. Faith has been the key component throughout the Bible. Now, I hear men on occasion and they say that all men were saved the same way by looking to the cross and so on. My point is not to argue about that. You and I recognize that before the death of Christ on the cross of Calvary, no one was saved by the death of Christ on the cross of Calvary. But all men have always been saved by faith. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and God told Noah to build an ark to the saving of his house, and he did exactly that. And Peter says that 8 souls were saved by water. Now, obviously, if Noah had not believed God, there's the component of faith. He would have never built an ark. But if Noah had refused to build the ark, and had said, oh no, I'm looking forward to Calvary, and there's no need for me to build an ark, I'm looking forward to Calvary. To begin with, that would have been an act of unfaith, because he would not have done what God told him to do, but he would have drowned with the rest of the antediluvian age. Abraham believed God when the Lord told him to take his son Isaac upon Mount Moriah in Genesis 22 and offer him there as a sacrifice. And Abraham did exactly what God told him to do, and he operated and did that by faith. But now if God had told Abraham, Abraham, take thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, unto the place that I will tell thee of, and offer him there. And if Abraham had said, no, Lord, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to look forward to the cross of Calvary, he would have disobeyed the work that God told him to do. What about the day of Day of Atonement in Leviticus chapter number 16, when every household was told to take a lamb for an house, and if the lamb be too big for the house, or the house be too small for the lamb, call your neighbors over, and you're not to boil it or sodden it, but you're to burn it and cook it in the fire, and then you're to eat it with your shoes on and your staff in your hand, and you're to apply the blood to the lintel and the doorpost of that house. Now, if those Jews had said no, rather, we're going to look forward to the cross. We're going to look forward to the cross. There's no need for the Passover lamb because Jesus Christ is Passover for me. I'm looking forward to the cross. While they would have been in direct disobedience to Exodus chapter 12 and the keeping of the Passover thereafter, the Jews still observe the Passover to this day. Now you can see the confusion, the utter confusion of trying to make everybody in every dispensation, in the Old Testament economy, New Testament economy, we have the tribulation that is yet out before us, and to have everybody saved exactly the same way. But the component, the universal component in the matter of salvation in every dispensation, beginning with Adam in the Garden of Eden, is a matter of faith, believing God, F-A-I-T-H. Adam did not believe God, and therefore he was driven out of the garden. Noah believed God, he built an ark. Abraham believed God and carried Isaac up on the Mount Moriah to crucify him, accounting, Paul said in Hebrews 11, that God was able to raise him from the dead. Abraham, Romans 4, Abraham believed God, and it was counted, it was imputed unto him for righteousness.